Now, here's a problem though. Now, all forms of racism is wrong, right? But some people, and here's the point, Jew or Gentile, right, can be racist, right? Okay. It's not just anti-Semitism you have to stop. It's also what they call anti-Goyim ism, right? Has to stop too, right?
Hate leads to another. And there is one form of hatred on the rise in the U.S., often passed off as legitimate discourse, or just ignored.
So is anti-Christianism, right?
When you speak out against one form of hatred, you are fighting against all forms of hatred.
Any religion you're trying to ostracize because of certain things it says, right?
The biggest party in Hollywood is back.
Okay, when no one can break certain rules, right? See, what we gotta learn is your religion is in a book, right? But the laws of America are greater than your religion in your little book, right? You're forgetting that sometimes. We have a government that's trying to give us freedom of religion, but are we abusing it in different ways, right? Okay, that's the problem, right? Anti-Semitism is wrong, but also Jews anti-Goyism, right? You call us Goyim, right? Great. You can't be anti-Goyim any more than we can be anti-Semitic, right? Right? We all gotta follow the main laws. Don't murder, don't kill, don't rape, don't steal, don't, right? Lies up to you, But again, right, the main ones are don't steal, don't assault people, things like that. Don't vandalize property. It's not yours, right? Don't rape people you don't know or you just meet. Ask them yes or no, right? That's consent, right? And finally, what, right? Don't murder in the name of your God, false religion, right? See, then we can all come to the table, like Martin Luther King said, right? If we put aside religious differences that are eat this, don't eat that, little things like that. Some don't eat pork, some don't eat meat, but that's a choice, right? We've been slaughtering animals for a long time now, right? So do it with respect, but also do it and make your stock multiply. Right? Right. That's in the Bible too, right? Make sure you have enough food for people too. You can't always pay Paradise to put up a parking lot, right? either, right? They tore down Paradise to put up a parking lot, right? Or a housing development. It depends. You still gotta respect something, right? Right. You need trees to breathe, right? That's true too, right? There are opposite in that we're human trees and they're plant trees, right? And they bring forth a fruit or offspring as do we, right? This is a metaphor, right? That people don't want to get sometimes. Male or female, Jew or Gentile. They aren't married if you're married, right? A married person don't harass, again, right? Someone they don't know or don't associated with, right? In some form, right? And then when you're harassing me, you're not being a friend to me, you're being a friend of me or an enemy, right? You're either halfway doing it or fully doing it, right? Anyone treating you badly because of a religion is supposed to be, again, right? Now, can you say I don't like people who practice homosexuality? Yes, but you can only say it in the context of religion. You can't stop them from marrying. The law says they can marry now, right? And yes, right? You have to let them marry because they don't believe in your Jesus, right? See, can you anymore? And if Jesus died for your sins, this is the point. Marry the right person yourself and not be married and given in marriage, as Jesus said, right? If you marry a female and a male, right? That's a sin too, right? Well, if that's a sin too, and gay people want to marry too, it's no different than them marrying being in marriage either, right? What Satan tricks us into is condemning each other and punishing each other, right? Unto death, right? The ultimate penalty he wants you to pay for a mistake is death. And it is just a mistake, right? Anything you do is either to you a sin or a mistake. What's the difference, right? A mistake is like Jesus casting the money lenders out the temple, but not really killing no one, and then you murdering him over it, right? That's a huge mistake, but Jesus forgave it, right? On the cross, he said, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do, right? Nor did he really know, right, what he was doing was right or wrong either. But it's one mistake into a worse mistake, right? Don't you get it, right? Now, who betrayed him ultimately? The disciples? Yeah. Whoever gave the command, right? The idea to betray him is the real betrayer, even if it was tied into Judas himself, right? Because of his relationship with the Sanhedrin and all that, right? And the chief priests, right? But he did not mean for him to die, right? He thought they only wanted to question him, right? And things like that, and would believe him. But he didn't realize they were so against him, it didn't matter what he said, right? They were going to convict him anyway. And when they witness false witnesses against you, like with me and my stepdaughter, right? The person there didn't think she was molested, or they would have went to the police, right? That's my ex-wife, idiot, right? Now, someone not involved with us is the only one to have contact with her who I never met. That's her boyfriend or baby daddy, Sal, right? He's the only one who had contact with her who could have done anything with her, right? Not me and Daphne, right? See, me and Daphne were at, kind of having an issue with her leaving me training in Tennessee, right? And I had an option, right? Stay there or move back to base. Guess what Shane did? Move back to base, right? There's no shame in my name, nor my advice, because we wouldn't want the daughter to wake me up. Me or her. So only one person might have an actual motive, and that's the biological dad, her ex-boyfriend, who knocked her up before they got married, right? But what does the Bible say about premarital sex? Well, not what you think. What you think. Here's what it says. There was a woman who was living in Samaria, right? She had 5 husbands, was living with a dude when Jesus met her, and he brought it up. And they also hung out in Samaria for 2 days while preaching the gospel. Now, do you hear of Jesus doing that a lot? At all? No. Well, what reference in the Old Testament comes to mind? Rachel and Jacob, right? Well, Jacob ran into a problem because he wanted to marry Rachel properly. Right? If you understand. Instead of Rachel, they gave him Leah, the older sister, first. And then they gave him Rachel. Though he had with both, he had more obligation to Leah than Rachel. And by the time she got pregnant, she had to give him Bilhah, right? One of her ladies in waiting, I guess. Her maids, right? Which is a slave, right? Now, like with Sarah, who gave Abraham Hagar, right? And also, Rebecca had 2 sons, right? But the second-born was, for some reason, chosen over the firstborn without an understanding of why. Well, the thing is, Ishmael was around the area too, but they were having problems conceiving Isaac and Rebekah. Now, if one is Ishmael's and one is Isaac's, and she released two eggs, which is what that is, right? A fraternal twin, right, is different than identical twins, right? Like Tia and Tamara, or any person out there who's a twin. Now, the difference between Tia and Tamara is Tia was born first, right? Tamara was born second, right? But if you look at them, right, one was exposed to ultraviolet light first and then the other a little bit later, right? Now, if you look at them, Tia is a little darker than Tamara in the pigment area, right? Tia has not as many moles as Tamara. Now, the reason Tamara is that way is while being birthed, Tia came out first, right? I don't really follow their shows a lot, but I know they're on TV, right? Right. I know. I'm not obsessed with either woman, right? But I know why, probably, right? Tia was born first and Tamara second, right? Without even really following the show, right? Well, when you're exposed to ultraviolet light, what does it work on? Your melanoma, right? Your melanin, whatever they call it, right? In your skin, right? But if you're still in the womb for a few seconds longer, right? And then exposed to the light while being given birth to, it affects your oxygen intake and your exposure to ultraviolet light, right? Tia, as being first, right, got hit first with the ultraviolet light, then Tamara, right? And therefore she is lighter in skin pigment for that few seconds of time, right? Wow. But that's all it is. That's all it is. But don't judge them. They're just human beings, right? Right. We're not condemning them for that. That's not their fault, being that they're identical twins, right? Now, the problem, again, is there's not two continents with hot weather, is there? There's also Australia. Now, Australia have native Aborigines people who, like people from Africa, have very dark, coarse hair and skin, right? Well, that's because of a lack of moisture in their continent as they developed there, even if they started out white as Satan or white as sin, right? Darken their skin by adaptation, right? Adaptation and evolution can look similar, but here's the problem. If God made every creature from one life form to another, from a higher to a lower state, it can appear as evolution too, right? It's not that you're wrong or right? It's that you don't want to work with the Christians, or the Christians don't want to work with you, right? Right. You're anti-Christian or you're anti-scientist. Neither one of you are wrong in everything you're doing, but some of the things have 50-50. If you're 50-50 wrong, you're also 50-50 right. That's the point. The one thing you're missing is tolerance and love, right? And forgiveness of slight mistakes we all make, right? Okay. See the message? Hear the message.